G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. It's Friday morning, we're going to be looking at the Randwick card. It's 10 races as per usual and the fields look kind of the same as what they did 2 weeks ago, but that's okay because Mark Shean and Mark Rhoden are here to find us a couple of winners. Mark Shean, first impressions of Saturday's card?
Well, we were out to a 12-metre rail on a good track. It will be a good 2 to 3, you would expect. They're going to probably put it up at 4 as they normally do, like they did on Wednesday. But, it hasn't rained here for a while, and we've got a good couple of days of weather. So, just wondering if he'll be on pace with that rail out 12 metres, and we've got a lot of horses coming off heavy and slow track runs back to a genuine dry. So we might get some mixed results.
Yeah, Mark Rhoden, that would certainly be the case if you've had fluctuating track patterns and also track conditions over the last couple of months.
That's true, but I don't mind it. I certainly prefer wet to dry than dry to wet, to be honest. But yeah, you might be able to find a few at odds that are going to be much better suited on the drier ground.
Okay, well, let's get started with these quaddie legs. Race 7 is the first, benchmark 88 handicap over 1,400 metres. In terms of the market, we've got Surf Dancer, best available at the moment is $4, Madame Legend $4.40, Blondo $5.50, Legay Soleil $7. New arrangement is $8, and then you're up to last start winner in Vitesse at $13. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself.
Yeah, a bit of a tricky race. Look, I am going for Madame Legend. I know probably the setup 11 to 14 not totally ideal, but she did have a trial on Monday or Tuesday. I thought that was a terrific win at Rose Hill that day. She set 3 wide, which didn't seem to be the place to be. Ran good sectionals. Should slot into the 1-1 here, I think. And if she's not only a wet tracker, she's won on top of the ground in the past, so I don't think that's a problem with her. So I just think she sets up nicely here, like the trial through the week as well. Blondo, of course, got all favours to win the other day, got into a beautiful spot, but, he goes back to the rear here and possibly the track conditions won't suit him as much. Not too sure what to make of Surf Dancer. It was a hard day to lead and win with that wind, but he did go very slow in front and did knock up late. So maybe he had some improvement on the day, but I'd just like to see him one more time, I think.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Mark Rhoden, do you have any thoughts here in the first leg of the quad?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty hard race. I think, look, on form, I think Madame Legend is probably the obvious. That was a devastating win first up. I didn't get her into 1-1 on mine up, actually. I thought Not Faint-Hearted would go forward with no weight, and then you got Surf Dancer and maybe Vitesse poking up underneath it, so it could just be a little bit tricky. And the 1,100 to 1,400, they've obviously waited, dodging the very wet tracks. It does look a different setup, but I think she's the one to beat. I think Surf Dancer's way too short. I know it's wet to dry, but this is, you couldn't get it much shorter than $4, I wouldn't think. And Blondo has, as Mark mentioned, a totally different setup. So the one I'm going to back is nearly the rank outsider in the race, Mirror Vision, one of those wet to dry horses. Look, the 2 best runs this time in have been at Rose Hill, and she's at Randwick, obviously, tomorrow. But I think you've just got to forgive that one against Blondo. She just gave up the home turn on a very testing track, and she's going to get a good track tomorrow. I think that's more up her alley. And her 2 good Rose Hill runs this time in would be right up to being competitive in this, and I think you can get $19. I think she's a bet for sure. As I said, Madame Legend on form and on that first up performance is obviously the one to beat, and as for the others, I'm struggling a bit, to be honest. Keen to be with Mirror Vision at a big price.
The Legay Soleil might be an improver here, just ran on a bottomless track there at Randwick last time out, but she is a back marker, so you just have to really monitor how the track's playing. You should know by race 7.
You reckon she could be, she's blinkers and gate 1. She changed her tactics maybe?
Possibly. She doesn't seem to have a lot of early speed, though, does she, Mark? So, and there does look to be like 4 or 5 might press forward. So I'm not sure where she'll end up there, really.
Okay. A few different angles there to start the quaddie. Race 8 is over 1,000 metres, benchmark 72. In terms of the market, 6 Gunners favourite, $4.40 from Misty Orr $5.50. You're getting $7.50 around Remlaps Gem. De Groen is $8.50. Duchess is $9. Van Giz is $10. It's pretty wide open. Mark Shean, any help here in race 8?
Yeah, it's a tricky sort of race. Look, I've got Six Gun on top, but he's not the sort of horse you can be confident about. I fell into him a couple of runs ago and he went disgraceful, pulled his head off, and they put blinkers on him tomorrow. Look, he will be suited by 1,000 metres, there's no doubt about that, and does look to be a lot of speed. I think he comes out of the strongest form line. He's dropping back to a midway here. Unfortunately, we've got about 472s on the day, but look, I got him on top. The one I really wanted to back was Nicole Beagle, but he came up with a horror barrier here. So, again, it depends on how the track's playing. If you can win from out a little bit wide on the track, I reckon he comes into calculations back on drier ground. Miss Dior's got a chance, not one of mine, but she does set up nicely to get a good run from a soft draw. So 9 from 3 for me, but a very tricky race.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, your thoughts?
I agree that it's tricky. Several ways you could go. Look, the way I've sort of fallen out to me, I had the three main chances as 4, 9 and 1, Remlap's Gem, Six Gun and Van Giz. At the value, I'm back Van Giz. She's had a tremendous campaign. She a bit disappointing last start, I suppose, but back on the dry and barrier 1 prepared to give her one more chance. She'd been very consistent before that and has been well documented. This Bjorn Baker stable is absolutely airborne. Never seen anything like it. So you're getting double figure odds one of his horses. You shouldn't talk yourself out of it. So I'll probably back it. Remlap's Gem flew at Scone 2 runs ago, then was run down as even money favourite in the James Kirby up at Grafton. If it can find that Scone form, look, I don't think it's going to get control of this to be honest. But if it ran up to that Scone figure, it would win. Don't think about 750. It's not giant overs at that price, I don't think. And yeah, Six Gun, the one Mark mentioned. Beyond that, yeah, Mr. Orr was next pick. Duchess has been going well on wet ground at provincials, and yeah, you could go on and on. But from a betting point of view, probably Van Giz, a bit of value, but yeah, tough race.
Okay. Race 9 is a benchmark 88 over 1,100 metres. The market is Space Boy, favourite at $4.80 from Al Bellagio, Miss 550. Best Stone and I Am Power at $6.50, and then you're out to double figures. You've got Broken Arrows, Valaquenta, Just Field, all around that $10, $11 mark. Mark Shean, your thoughts to begin?
Yeah, well, if it's on pace, you'd think Space Boy would run a well-backed favourite here. Yeah, pretty brave up the straight. I don't know that setup up a straight would suit him. He's more around a corner type of horse to me. But I am going to give I Am Power another chance. I know he looked a bit disappointing the other day, but he did have a bit of a break between runs. Had synthetic hoof filler in both fours, I think, and ran into a bog track for the first time. So I'm prepared to forgive him for that run, even though it did look a bit plain. So he comes back on top of the ground here from a soft draw. Tom Sherry in the saddle. So around the $6 mark, I'm going to go for him. Not sure about Space Boy. He just does find a way to be beaten, so I don't think I could come at him at the price. Away from that, I think Valaquenta, if they can run on. This has had two or three jump outs at Flemington. No official trial, but has had a pretty easy time in those jump outs. And if they can make ground from the back, it'll be the one coming home for mine.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, your thoughts there in race 9?
Yeah, should be a good pace. Space Boy's only win past 1,000 was on a leaders track at Wyong, so get him beaten, I think. I hope they do back him because it could make the market a bit. The one I've landed on is Best Stone, number 5. Trialled okay, McDonald booked. Probably better known at 1,200, 1,250, but I think fresh, and especially with a projected good pace, 1,100 will be okay, so I could entertain him. Then what was that to Al Bellagio, Miss going really well, but wet to dry is a little knock, I think. Valaquenta's run well in a couple of jump outs down in Melbourne, probably primed to go first up, and then I Am Power next best. Yeah, quite a few chances again, but I thought, yeah, 650 is a backable price for Best Stone.
Okay, and that brings us to the last, which is race 10, benchmark 78 over 1,300 metres. We've got Cordia favourite or equal favourites in a pretty open field. Cordia's $6, Rangers Vitesse $7. You've actually got He's a Hot Shot as well as $6. Vitesse is currently an emergency in this field, must be pointed out. Cuban Royale and Knight of Power $9. Think 3's 10. This market is all over the shop. Very wide open, Mark Shean. Have you got anything in the last?
Yeah, I think it is the hardest race of the day. Look, I managed to fluke Cuban Royale last week. I thought that Madam Legend form looked pretty strong, and I think we tipped him a couple of weeks ago and he was scratched, so jumped on him on the good there the other day. And I'm going to follow my money because I thought that was a good win. Not sure where he gets to in the run from barrier 10. Hopefully he can roll forward into the first half of the field. Just looks to be coming to the racing form. So in what looks to be the strong, hardest race of the day, I should say, looks hard to beat. I think he's a hot shot. Just got worried a little bit in front the other day. Didn't get any cover. Just had to keep kicking up a half a length off the lead. That might have left him a sitting shot for Cuban Royale. So I thought he would be better if he could get some smother here. And Night of Power's one who's been kept fresh by Bjorn Baker. So I thought that he could run well, but I just wonder about his conviction hitting the line. That's the only problem with him.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, your thoughts here in the last?
Yeah, extremely hard race, I thought. I wanted to find Cuban Royale. I was impressed with that win last week, but I don't like the barrier. Actually, I wanted to back Charitera on Wednesday, and I reckon they wish they'd run in that now that it's drawn 13 here. It probably gets rid of it, to be honest, Charitera. It probably needs everything to go right for it to win. Landed on Schnitzer 5 first up. Bowman booked. I suppose that's a signal of some intent and drawn for a good run from 2. But I'm not married to backing it, to be honest. I'm not married to having a bet in the race at all. It's just really, really hard. He's a hot shot improved on the dry when run down by Cuban Royale last week. If it can get a semblance and control up to 1400, it can run well again, but I could say that about a few of them. I've got pretty much the whole field, pretty much the whole field under $20, all in a bunch, though. Schnitzer 5, if anything, but I'm not desperate to bet again.
Okay, sounds like a good way to finish the card there on Saturday. You can just put the feet up early and turn on the footy. Or the Olympics, for that matter. That brings us to the end. I'll get you a best, whether it be a best bet, best value, best lay bet on the card. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself.
I've had something on Super Effort in the first. I know he's coming back on dry ground, but he should have finished a lot closer the other day, and his first up win at Newcastle was very good. I'm just fingers crossed that he'll repeat that on top of the ground. I thought Skedaddle was short enough, beat 2 pretty ordinary horses the other day. I know she looked impressive, but yeah, it looked short enough to me. And I thought Mr. G would be hard to beat in race number 4. He's really, he won on a heavy track at Canterbury, but only by virtue of the fact he got the right run on the rail, and then back on top of the ground last time out on the Kensington. He was an impressive winner. And this track should be as firm or firmer, so I think that falls into his lap. So I thought he'd be hard to beat in race number 4.
Okay, Mr. G, $4.80 there in race 4. Mark Rhoden, your best.
Certainly have a best. Mark Shean, you'll be off Rob Scurry's Christmas card list, by the way. He's completely in love with Skedaddle.
Okay, well, he might be right. He's going better than me.
I thought it was probably right price too, but Rob's adamant it will be winning on Saturday, but we'll see. Not really a day for best bets for me. I think Mirror Vision's clearly best value at around $19. I don't really like any of the favourites as such. I could have said Catapult in race 5. I thought $11 was a reasonable price. I didn't take it, and now it's about $5.50. So can't be calling it value anymore. But Mirror Vision in race 7.
Okay, sounds good to me. And just before we leave, Mark Shean, it would be remiss of me not to mention the trials. Obviously, it's the end of the season after Saturday. Did anything take your eye at the trials there on Monday?
Geez, you're putting me on the spot now. Mate, there's a set in progress at Rosehill as well. I just can't think offhand, Pete. Sorry, it's dementia's set in already.
That's all good. We'll talk about it next week when we've got a little bit more time and I actually give you a heads up.
Okay.
To you both, all the best on the weekend. We'll catch up next week to preview next weekend's meeting there in Sydney.
All right, mate.